YOLO. Oh! Oh! Oh!
You've seen your...
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Summit 4. We are going to be taking a look at the American qualifiers here in a game between Archon Dota as well as Elite Wolves. Should be a really great one. Best of 3. And we're starting the game off right here with a Broodmother band out, as well as a Doom Bounty Hunter and the Darkseer. My name is Lyrical Gangster. I'm going to be bringing you this game solo. Hopefully we don't end up running into any technical issues. So far we've been having quite a few of them, but thankfully we have been able to make our ways on into this one. And look out, ladies and gentlemen, Alchemist's first pick out of Elite Wolves. This should be a pretty solid one. Super excited already to see how this hero ends up getting played. Now, we've seen this hero get a lot more play, consistently being... well, not consistently being, but I feel like one of the ways that he ends up getting played consistently, I said that again, is in the mid role. And I think that that role can be incredibly strong if you're able to sort of really ramp on up in terms of your gold gain, if you're able to toss on out that acid spray. Of course, also, you do occasionally see him in the safe lane carry position as well. The support role, pretty sparse in terms of how often you see it, but it is an option as well. So we also have here the Shadow Fiend picked up, as well as the Tusk and the Dazzle. This should be a really interesting one. I think that the Alchemist against the Shadow Fiend becomes a little bit tough. Obviously, when you end up tossing out that acid spray, you do get the armor reduction, which is pretty noticeable. It's an important thing. It's a good part of it as well. And also you get the damage per second over time that works really effectively as well against Shadow Fiend. Now, the thing that's nice about that is that oftentimes Shadow Fiend are just going to want to have to sit back up on their high ground, occasionally toss on out raises, nuke the creep wave, and then head on back into the jungle. The thing about the Shadow Fiend, though, is that as you get to the level 1, the first couple of levels are the areas where it can be kind of tough. And so if you toss out that acid spray early and you're able to trade somewhat effectively with the Shadow Fiend, I think that that's a pretty good setup there. So it really depends upon how well the Alchemist is able to shut down the Shadow Fiend's farm early, which isn't easy to do because Alch also doesn't have the highest base damage. So a little bit of a tough one. I think this can be a difficult matchup, and particularly if you have a Tusk that is roaming. Now, Tusk is often played, obviously, in the offlane position, but can still get played in that roaming support region. And if you end up doing that, then you've got the possibility to jump in on top of an Alchemist without his ult at the early stages of the game, and you just get torn up. So we also have here banned out a Venomancer, a Night Stalker, Ember Spirit, and the Ancient Apparition, followed by a PL pickup. Now, I like the PL pickup for a couple of reasons. One is that oftentimes when you see, first of all, he's just a great carry in general. The ability to scale really well. He doesn't need a ton of support in lane, which makes me think that this is probably, it's certainly not going to be, I don't imagine, like a lane support Tusk. It's either going to be an off lane or a roaming support, which gives, you know, Elite Wolves a little bit of information. But the other thing about him that's pretty great, I feel like, is that if you are able to get up that quick Diffusal Blade and you're able to, you know, potentially jump on top of one of these Dazzles or somebody else like that, when you're on top of those heroes, you can't really get away effectively with any of them. Like, Dazzle does have a decent amount of wave clear. If Alchemist ends up going for that, like, Battle Fury build, I feel like it kind of pushes him into that role where he almost has to do that, unless you're going for, like, a timing push where you end up getting, like, a quick Aghanim Scepter on Alch, and then you throw that onto a Tiny or something like that. But that's kind of a gimmicky thing, and I feel like a lot to sort of bank on. So there's a lot of versatility with this draft for Elite Wolves, but it's kind of clunky, if you know what I'm saying. Like, there's elements of it that are really good, but sort of at the same time, if you're running an Alchemist, there's a reason that he, you know, hasn't really been played all that much until more recently with the acid spray buff. So I don't know, it's a little bit tough. Winter Wyvern going to be the next one picked up for Elite Wolves here as well. The Dazzle Winter Wyvern combo, very defensive, which makes me think that this might actually end up... Well, Alchemist can still kind of go either direction. So the Undying picked up, that puts a lot of pressure. They can do, if they wanted to, an aggressive dual lane, or you can have the Undying sit in the off lane and then Tusk can roam around. But the thing about this that's a little bit difficult is that if you do run the Alchemist in the safe lane now, he's going to have to go up against Undying, who's going to be able to sap away his strength, which is terrible. And then on top of that as well, just sort of the consistent ability to get knocked on down, and just, he has a lot of ability to harass you early. Now, being able to have the Dazzle Winter Wyvern and then the Queen of Pain pickup makes me think that this is going to be a safe lane Alchemist Alchemist farming, and they're going to be going up against the Undying. Whether or not we see a Tusk in there as well is still to be determined.
10 seconds
But
remaining.
the good part about being able to have the Winter Wyvern Dazzle is that the two of them together are going to make sure that Alchemist doesn't die. Now, that being said, if there is some misplay or something like that, like the Alchemist should never die. That's what I'm going to say. But if he does, by virtue of a misplay, all of a sudden, the reason that you pick these heroes no longer is like valid. So you're going to end up being in a tough situation. Like, you pick these heroes to make sure your Alchemist gets off the ground early. And I also will say that currently there's no real great person to pick up an Aghanim Scepter yet. So,
Radiant team
and
back.
considering we're going to be looking at an offlane next, I wonder, God, with this lineup, there's like no stuns coming up for the Radiant. This could be really, really dangerous. I kind of would like to see something. They ban out the Earthshaker. I think that's a great ban. Rubik also going to be banned out here as well. Like, if you end up going for an Earthshaker in the offlane for Elite Wolves, that's great. It gives you a lot of lockdown, which is, I think, something that they desperately need. And now being able to ban that out makes that all the more tough. But also, I feel like they need a little bit more oomph or something. Like, Alk is great in terms of the sort of ability to regen, but if he does get bursted down, like say by a Shadow Fiend being able to Requiem on top of him because you snowball Walrus Punch into it, like they have a ton of burst damage coming out, particularly with these first two picks, and I think that was a really great response to this Alchemist here. You're just going to be able to really, like I said, burst him down. Maybe you end up getting a Blink Dagger on Tusk. You really try and emphasize that. That being said, with the Undying, it's probably less likely that Tusk's going to be getting a lot of farm, but as you move into the later stage of the game, that burst potential, the ability to instantly initiate onto Alchemist before he's able to get out that chemical rage, can make all the difference. So still waiting for one more pick here. A Skyreth Mage might be pretty solid for Archon. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I think being able to combo that on top of would be really great. You amplify the damage as well with, if an Undying's around as well. They end up going for the Visage and so, which is another great option. It gives you a little bit more team fight potential. I think you also have the possibility to apply a little bit of split pushing, which I think is going to be important as well. So all in all, I really like this combo. I think that this could work pretty well for them. And Elite Wolves as well are waiting for their last pick. And certainly a lot of different options for this. We'll see what they end up going for. I think that at this point they need an offlaner who can be tanky. Like Doom would have been a great option. Part of me wonders if like Timbersaw might be worth it potentially, although that again doesn't really give them a ton of sustainability. Legion Commander is a great pickup. I like that one a lot. And I do believe, I wonder how they're going to lane this. They definitely have a lot of potential to run it different ways here. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, we'll be seeing relatively shortly here. Hopefully there's no more problems in terms of loading on into the game as we get ready for this one, since we have had quite a few technical difficulties throughout the course of this day. And sorry about that one again. I know that everybody just wants to be able to hop on in and watch some Dota. And I hear you. I'm right with you. I want to be able to do that as well. And hopefully that's going to end up happening in just a second here. I believe in you. Come on, Elite Wolves. You can do it. Winter Wyvern player. There we go. All right. Getting everything started and set and ready and wonderful. Going to be starting off with a quick little introduction for all the players. We got Fanboy here, who's going to be playing the Queen of Pain for Elite Wolves. Brand is going to be playing the Alchemist. We have Masuko, who's going to be playing the Winter Wyvern. Bayek is going to be on that Legion Commander. And last but not least, trying to get on out there and lay down a ward, but unfortunately is going to be debuffed. It's going to be UMR, who's going to be playing the Dazzle. Meanwhile, for Archon, we got Whitebeard on the Undying, TPing out as well. Jo is going to be playing the Phantom Lancer. We have Fluff and Stuff on the Visage. 747 is going to be playing your Shadow Fiend. And last but not least, we got Moo, who's going to be playing that offlane Tusk. So very, very cool. I have to say as well, I really like the set here from the Tusk. Look at that one. That is just gorgeous. That is an awesome Tusk set. All right, let's get ready for the game. Enough fooling around, enough malarkey. Looks like Fanboy wants to come and contest this rune here. Is going to be over in what looks to be probably... Is this actually going to be...
30 seconds.
What the hell is happening right now? Are we going to be... Are we actually... I honestly don't know what this lane structure is going to be like. I guess that they're going to be throwing the Alchemist solo in the bottom. That kind of makes sense, I guess. But Legion is hanging out in the mid lane. I don't know. I'm not going to do any more sort of theory crafting here. We're just going to be hanging out. We're going to take a look at what we got, and hopefully this ends up making sense at some point. We know for sure that PL's going in the top lane. That is a fact. and they are certainly going to be able to take that rune there as well. Alchemist's going to pick on up Greedle's Greed and get a nice little 500 gold being brought out to him, and a bottle as well. So always nice to see that one, and it looks like Alchemist is going to be going in that mid lane. So considering the fact that he ended up going for Greedle's Greed first, and Shadow Fiend ended up going for Necromastery first, the last hitting potential out of this lane is not necessarily going to be the greatest. Alchemist is okay at 53, Shadow Fiend significantly worse at 49. I guess not a whole heck of a lot of difference there, but the range versus melee is also something interesting to keep in mind as well. So UMR here is going to be playing in the top lane up against the Visage as well as the PL. We also have the Legion Commander who's hanging out over here. So this is going to be an interesting dual lane. Very curious to see how this ends up turning out for all those involved. It looks like PL's actually taking a decent amount of harass here at the early stages. Bottom, ooh, almost be able to catch there. Arctic Burn going to be enough to let him out of there. Now, the other thing to keep in mind here in this lane is that once you end up getting a couple of levels on these heroes, things can happen really, really quickly. Whenever there's a melee hero in the lane, more action across the board, people trying to hit each other. Looks like the Arctic Burn is going to go down on top of Moo yet again. Are they going to be able to get a kill here? Don't think so. Just bringing down his HP incredibly low. But what I was talking about is that this lane right here in the bottom, you've got a dual melee, which can be punished if you're not careful. Oh, Masaku, the Winter Wyvern, is actually going to be caught out a little bit here. Needs to be able to get away. Isn't going to be able to run down, thankfully, by the Undying. So back and forth we go. But what I keep on trying to say, and I'm unable to get the words out because everybody just wants to battle each other in these lanes here. Are you freaking kidding me? Is that when you have these melee heroes consistently across the board, positioning becomes so crucial in terms of your ability to win one of these. Look at that. Are you freaking kidding me? Legion Commander there being able to deal out a ton of damage with the overwhelming odds proc, and that's the thing, is you run into these lanes, you run into, you know, the middle of these people, and all of a sudden your positioning in the matchup can change drastically if you get a kill or not. So right here as well, you know, the Undying and the Tusk, they're going to be able to stand pretty far forward. But if they get a little bit too out of position, you're going to end up being in a really bad situation where you can't really escape effectively. And, you know, with the Queen of Pain here as well, hasn't actually skilled up anything besides Blink yet, wanting to see if she wants to go for a Scream of Pain or potentially a Dagger to get a kill. But what I'm saying is that, like, one of the ways that I feel like I see this often is like a Magnus versus Dragon Knight lane or something like that, where you can suddenly get skewered back really quickly and all of a sudden you're dead. Not as prevalent this time, but again with the Arctic Burn you can just deal so much damage. Look at this, Moo has fallen really low but is going to be able to make his way out of there. Queen of Pain does have a Scream if she wants to. Actually went for stats, so never mind, forget what I was saying. Oh, top lane, and we are going to end up seeing 747 taking a good amount of harass here as well from this Acid Spray coming out again. Is it going to be enough? He's getting lower armor, maybe going to be able to make it happen. Oh, as he go for the Courier Snipe instead. One more right click should be enough. He ends up getting the kill. He is going to pay the price for it though. Trying to bottle up through, not going to be enough. Unfortunate there. So first blood goes to the Alchemist as well as the first two bounty runes. Absolutely huge in terms of his ability to really accelerate and farm. And if you take a look right now, 2,700 net worth at 3 minutes into this. Are you freaking kidding me? Very, very frustrating indeed. And this is going to force the Visage to come on over and soak up a little bit of EXP as well as trying to stack on up for the Shadow Fiend. Always nice to have that happen down bottom. Again, do we have a little bit more action going on here? Whitebeard taking a little bit of harassment from the creeps. Also have Fanboy over here as well. Still hasn't skilled up anything. Does have 1 level in stats so far. Oh, no, never mind, I'm tripping. And might be able to make something else happen off to the side here. Oh, Fluff and Stuff sticking a little bit far forward here as well. It's just so dangerous. Like, things happen in an instant. Speaking of which, top lane, UMR taking a little bit more harassment from Jo. It's going to be able to walk away from this one, no problem. But again, I do like here to the side that the Alchemist is going to be, like, this is one of the ways in which Alchemist and Shadow Fiend end up functioning in similar ways, is that you can stack on up the camps, take them later, and you can both take them very effectively. Also worth noting that the Alchemist has gone for a level in stun here. Ooh, God, fallen low. That is going to be a kill on the freaking Queen of Pain. Undying kills her off. Very frustrating. Meanwhile, top lane as well, UMR, oh, misses one raise, is going to be able to grave himself, stay alive a little bit longer. There's the TP away, but now Legion Commander is going to end up getting turned on as well. Soul Assumption now one more time as well, trying to get rid of the slow from the Grave Joe. One more right click is going to be enough. Shadow Fiend being very efficient with the raises and up top as well. Whitebeard is going to end up taking a good amount of harassment as well. Splinter Blast coming out. One more right click with the tick damage should be enough, maybe. Oh, there's the turnaround. Decay Stacks doing work. It is going to be able to finish off Whitebeard, but now the Tusk is coming in as well. He smells a little bit of bud. Fanboy ends up going down to the shards as well as the snowball. Ganks abound. Are you kidding me? They are not at all afraid in this game in the least bit. So trading relatively even across the board. You take a look at net worth, was into the favor of Elite Wolves, not to be the case this time around. Taking a little bit of a dive after those couple of engagements that didn't end up working quite in their favor. Also worth noting that at this point in time, if you take a look at them, they did just finish off these stacks. So maybe going to get a little bit of a boon off there as well. 747 going to walk away from this creep camp. Doesn't want to end up getting killed at this point in time. Does have this other one to take as well, but going to be a little bit of time here. The bottle's going to be brought out to him. Should be able to finish it off in just a second. Alchemist still farming like a champ and getting free farm in the mid lane. Not something that often happens. Curious what his first item is going to be.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Certainly lots of options. He already has the phase boots there as well. Just look like Undyne is going to rotate over though. Actually somehow just knows where the Alchemist is going to be. Are you kidding me? What the heck is going on here? How does he know this? This is black magic. Undyne, the zombie, knows what's happening. Is going to be able to try and sneak the last hit. Not quite able to get it, unfortunately. It does reveal his position as well. So Mu now, level 5. When he gets level 6, he can kill the Queen of Pain, potentially. She has to misplay a little bit and not blink away fast enough, or just not create the separation that she needs. Also worth noting as well, we do have the Undyne over here. Well, getting a little bit fresh off to the side there. Wants to be able to make something happen. We do have a TP over to the side as well. There's the jump forward. Walrus Punch out as well. Not going to be enough, unfortunately. And now the turnaround again. Undyne able to take out the Queen of Pain on the backside. Tombstone is down as well. Winter Wyvern is going to end up going down here, ladies and gentlemen. Double kill there for Whitebeard on the Undyne. Exceptionally well played. Really, really nicely done there. And so there you go. The blink back into the decay, into the right click, into the dead Queen of Pain, and absolutely textbookly done, which is definitely a word, by the way. Tusk's now going to fill up his bottle as well. This is going to mean that, again, the Shadow Fiend's going to have to bottle Crow, which is a little bit frustrating, but certainly not the worst thing in the world. And does look like the Alchemist is going to be content here to farm enough. Unfortunately, didn't get that other last hit over there on the other creep, so not perfect, but still pretty freaking solid. Now, Queen of Pain is in a really dangerous situation. Like, she's been able to get a decent amount. Walrus Punch immediately. Snowball trying to chase back again. Is he going to be able to get it? Yes, he does. One more hit. Blink is on cooldown. She is super freaking dead. Nicely done. And that's the thing, is you play so far forward, and these things happen really quickly with Tusk. Being able to launch that Snowball almost immediately, to follow it up with the Walrus Punch, it's deadly. Jo now as well, going down a little bit. Oh, is he going to be able to get his way out of there? There is going to be able to get the Shallow Grave. Does TP away, though, and no way to break that means that Dazzle is going to be able to make his way out of there. Fight recap. Queen of Pain after dying, another 400 gold gain into their favor, and Archon, unfortunately, while not being able to kill the Dazzle, do force out the Grave TP, which means that the Legion Commander is going to have to play a little bit further back. So, net worth-wise, ooh, are they going to be able to find somebody over here? Whitebeard trying to get a little bit fresh and fabulous. We do end up spotting him here with the Legion. No mana at this point in time, and does have level 6, but hasn't skilled Duel yet. Interesting. A little bit surprised about that one. Still waiting for her opportunity to jump forward. Did end up using those stick charges as well. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Alchemist is just farming up a storm. He does not care in the least bit. Mid lane, Queen of Pain up against Shadow Fiend. Relatively even matchup when they are even levels. Unfortunately, Queen of Pain's level 5, Shadow Fiend's 8. Gonna cut off these Ancients from being stacked as well. Is going to be able to de-ward as well as block the camp, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Winter Wyvern getting farm in the bottom lane as well as EXP, but not the biggest and most important here that you want that on. That being said, nobody is here for the Dire, so kind of worth it. Tusk is going to be able to find on out the stacks over here. Does he finish him off? Looks like he's actually going to be able to. Snowballs through one more time. Is going to opt to not Walrus Punch. Just try and walk away now, and stealing some of that farm. Certainly a key component of being able to shut down that Alchemist. Fanboy as well, very comfortable over here again. We do end up spotting the courier. Is this going to be a snipe right here? Undyne is moving over into position. One right click should not be enough to do it. Oh, it's frustrating. Snowball coming in yet again. Want to try and chase. Are they going to be able to make something happen here? Tusk probably needs to back on up. There is going to be the stun out on top of him. Oh, disaster. Walrus Punch comes out, but it's not enough. Winter Wyvern ends up getting the kill, and now chase over here again. Are they going to be able to find the Legion? Tombstone is dropped. Dazzle in a little bit of trouble. He's going to have to Grave TP. Looks like he's going to be able to make his way out of there, but meanwhile, we do have the Legion Commander still in some trouble. Turn around for the duel, potentially going to be able to make this one happen. Winter's Curse down one time as well. The Familiars are not affected by that Winter's Curse, trying to run away again. Whitebeard going to be able to make his way out of here, and it does look like, oh my god, did she really drop that when she ended up using those Arcanes? Too much freaking value. Fluff and stuff getting a little bit low, as is Whitebeard, but it looks like they're going to be content to back on out now, not wanting to push this too much further. She is taking so much damage and dealing it out as well. It does look like maybe they want to try and fight this if at all possible. The fortification comes out as well. They don't want it to drop too low if they can at all help it. If they leave it too low, it means the Visage Familiars can just come on out and finish it out as well. It does look like they're going to try and keep them off the tower here as well. Shadow Wave gets dropped out one more time again, in a little bit of trouble. Dazzle needs to be careful here. It's going to be able to walk away from that one, and they do end up losing that top tier 1 for the Radiant, unfortunately. Undying does just walk away. And Queen of Pain posturing to potentially do something. You wonder, though, might they have been able to fight that one? I guess probably not. The Blink Dagger is up on Tusk as well, by the way. That is pretty freaking quick. That's awesome. Really going to help him out a lot. So I guess because Winter's Curse was down, they didn't have Weave, you know, all of these things combined together. Like, the Queen of Pain did have Sonic Wave, but I'm not sure if she actually had it at the beginning of that team fight when they would have contested, because she did just get a good amount of EXP here from sort of hanging out in the mid lane. So opting to save that one instead. Looks like Tusk's still trying to be a nuisance over in the jungle. Always frustrating to play against. Always indeed. He is a little bit squishy right now as well, which is a bit of a problem if you do end up tossing out a Sonic Wave on top of him, as well as, you know, potentially something like a Winter's Curse. He's just going to melt. And considering how much he's that utility hero, it does really become a problem. All right, here we go. We have a TP coming on in. Undying wants to party a little bit. Tusk is coming in as well. The Tombstone does get dropped. The Blink forward as well. That's going to be a bit of a problem. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Queen of Pain able to take on the Shadow Fiend. That's a huge kill. Unfortunately, it looks like they're going to end up losing the Legion forward. Doesn't want to duel at this point in time. Snowball in as well, and one last decay stack. Undying ends up getting that kill. But was it worth it? You lose the Legion Commander for the Shadow Fiend. Not exactly sure. A little bit close there at that point in time, and does look like in the end, Archon's still pretty far ahead. What? Are you freaking kidding me? All right, Alchemist has a 12-minute Radiance. Holy crap. I was like, there's no way. Those particle effects. That is terrifying. Oh my god, he is going to be a farming machine. Meanwhile, mid lane, yet again, Walrus Punch down on top of the Winter Wyvern, staying alive by virtue of that Cold Embrace. So, all right, here's the thing. Let's talk about this for a second, because this is crazy. This is crazy town. His farm is going to become ridiculous. They need to pressure right now. Archon have to. If they don't find and kill this Alchemist, like, repeatedly, it is going to be complete and total devastation all across their faces. Like, he just can't be left alone and be left to do this. He has relatively low HP at this point in time compared to the rest of the heroes in the game and how much farm that he has. So if you're able to make some type of initiation happen on top of him, it's just disgusting. There is going to be the duel on top of 747, though. This is going to end up being a kill. Probably not dual damage, as he does end up exploding to the Dazzle, but that's not the way that you need to make this happen. Oh god, he's dealing a ton of damage too. Oh my god, this is freaking terrifying at this point in time. You end up being able to get that enough farm is just disgusting. And it looks like he's going to be going for Sanj and Yasha next, so going to be able to just run down these heroes consistently over and over again. So freaking scary. The tier 1 tower already down. It does look like instead we're going to be having the Legion farm on up a mechanism, surprisingly. Very, very interesting. Normally, when you end up trying to go for sort of a fighty build with an Alchemist, you'll end up picking up a mechanism and then getting a couple of points in that stun as well, just to be able to have that presence across the map. This time, instead, he's going for a much more farmy build and allowing these other heroes to pick up these other items instead that allow them to still fight together as a group. You know, you give them that sort of presence of being able to have a mech on your team, but this is going to come at the cost of not having another item on the Legion. So, I think that as long as they're able to win dual victories, it's okay. But it's tough, because, like, at this point in time, imagine having a Blade Mail on the Legion instead of the mechanism. So instead of having that sustain, you've got the potential there to solo kill people. I guess that really what this is going to come down to is it's a little bit of cognitive dissonance, a little bit of just sort of not cohesiveness is really the word that I'm looking for there. and maybe they're able to make it work, but if you end up getting caught out with the Alchemist, that is not the way that you want to start these fights. Getting the initiation started off right, a couple of AoE stuns coming out, those recently got buffed by the familiars. Looks like Archon want to try and push this bottom 2-2, because the other thing here as well is that if you're going for the mechanism on the Legion, that means that you want to try and fight early, but if you're wanting to fight early into an Undying as well, like Undying Shadow Fiend Tusk, that just sounds terrifying. It does look like they're getting ready to go for it though, and if they're able to find out here with the nice Winter's Curse, they are going to be able to catch out the Shadow Fiend, taking a lot of damage. He might drop early. There's going to be the dual damage as well on top of him. Yet again, Whitebeard is going to be able to go into ulti form in just a second, but no, actually doesn't have it skilled yet. Walrus Punch on top of Fanboy, going to be able to bring him really low, but the Alchemist is dealing so much DOT. That is a solid grave. Fanboy going to stay alive at the end of this. Soul Assumption or not, this is still going to be a dead Whitebeard. Ends up getting killed to the burn damage. It looks like we are going to see the Tusk getting away. Not sure if Fluff and stuff is going to be so lucky. There is the stun on top of him. AoE stuns coming out from the birds. There's going to be the Splinter Blast though, and that's the kill. And now Tusk is going to book it for the hills. Does not want to get taken out there. Goodness gracious. PL not in these fights though, a key component that is not going to be there, and his farm isn't absolutely crazy right now. Take a look at that fight recap. That's going to be a freaking 2,100 gold swing into the favor of the Radiant. And this is the problem. You end up getting into these fights, you allow an Alchemist to farm on up a Radiance, like, he is going to punish you for that hardcore. Now has his second item as well with the Yasha. He's starting to deal with the problem, his armor problems, by building up those agi items. He's getting faster movement speed. All in all, this is going to be a terrifying person to go up against. And it looks like Winter Wyvern over here is going to have to back on out. Pops the Soul Ring and the Arctic Burn, is going to opt to run away. Probably a good option. I mean, Moo doesn't deal a ton of damage right now, but Walrus Punch is always going to be good. So, like, I don't know. You just got to be so careful. Invisrune up on the Legion as well. They might opt to try and see if they can come on over here and catch the PL. If they're able to find a duel, like, he's not the tankiest right now. He does have treads. He doesn't have anything, like, but he doesn't have the, whatchamacallit, he doesn't have drums up at this point, so still a little bit low. They're going to end up going for this almost immediately. There's the jump, duel, as well as Scream of Pain. So much damage coming out. PL's going to fall. That is a duel that they needed to win. Absolutely huge. Being able to kill the PL as well as get your Legion duel damage, why not? Every day of the week. Really, really solidly done. I just feel like Elite Wolves right now are playing at this level where their rotations are really solid. They had a clearly executable game plan that they wanted to try and achieve. This is going to be a little bit of a problem though, stealing attack speed as well as movement speed. Grave Chill coming on out. There's the Winter's Curse on top of Whitebeard. If they're able to take him down before the Tombstone, no, not going to be able to happen. It's going to be alive through this team fight. He's still falling low. Snowball save at the last second is not going to be enough though. Dazzle ends up going down actually, so pretty solid there. Somehow he's staying alive. There's the Sonic Wave though. That's going to finish off the Undying. Tombstone still there as well. Soul Assumption out one time. Fanboy's going to try and kill these, but there's the Walrus Punch coming out. That's a dead Queen of Pain. Is going to be able to be a dead Winter Wyvern in just a second, I believe, as well. Oh, here we go. That's going to be a Legion trying to come on in and make her presence felt. One more Splinter Blast coming out. She doesn't want to run into this, but at the same time, she kind of does. No, not going to do it. Playing it a little bit more safe. 3 for 1 in the end. You did jump on top of an Undying, just to be fair. And while he didn't have his ulti skilled quite yet, the Tombstone level 4 was huge in that team fight. That's what dissuaded the Legion from jumping back in again. Like, if that Tombstone wasn't down at that point in time, I think she might even try and go back in and kill the Visage, but not opting to do so. But at the end of the day, you're still sitting here with this Alchemist who's going absolutely ham and now has a Manta. What the heck is this game? He has 14,000 net worth right now. Shadow Fiend has almost 7,000. This is ridiculous. This is what happens when you end up playing an Alchemist farm. And, like, the thing about it, you think about what their lineup was designed to do. They opted to go and try and give a really tough lane to the Queen of Pain, leaving the Shadow Fiend solo against the Alchemist. And when you end up doing that, Alk's able to get a couple of those bounty runes early. You can just get the bottle up so fast, like... All right, here we go. They're going to try and make something happen here. Walrus Punch immediately onto Winter Wyvern. Tombstone dropped again as well. Same place that other team fight ended up happening. That's going to be a dead Winter Wyvern at the start of this team fight. We do still have Grave on up. That's going to end up being interrupted by the Snowball one more time again. There is going to be the press the attack. Fanboy trying to run away as well. He is going to be able to make his way out of there. Blink away. Nicely done, but here comes the raid boss. Alchemist, apparently not afraid, although he might want to be, honestly. It's going to toss out that stun as well. Manta is now popped, because why not? Burn damage abound. Fanboy still here, does not have a Sonic Wave for another 20 seconds. So they lose the Winter Wyvern as well as the Dazzle, 2 defensive supports. And Archon walk away from that one. Looking pretty solid. Mech is up on the Shadow Fiend. We do have as well A medallion up on the Visage. Undying's working towards that Aghanim Scepter, and in these big team fights, that's a huge component of being able to really mess up your enemy team, and stealing away the 10 int from that Alchemist is going to be absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. He did go for bots next as well. Oh, what do we got over here? It looks like they might be ready to go. 747. A little bit scary at this point. I mean, he's not that terrifying, honestly. He's going to be probably building into a Sanj and Yasha next, I would imagine, just because that's like the build that you end up seeing when you try and group together. But I don't know, like the mischance as well, 17% on the Alchemist is pretty huge. He is going to turn off the Radiance as well, so that way you don't end up revealing. Nicely done. Winter's Curse comes down. There's the stun as well. He is evaporated, eviscerated, destroyed. Tombstone is down, but Undying, what are you going to do? You don't have your Ags yet. This is going to be a jump forward yet again, continuing to chase Manta style off any slows that might potentially be there. The snowball is coming out, but do they have the possibility to turn this back around? Nice jump away there. Is she going to be able to make her way out of there? No, ends up going down to the Alchemist. Nicely done. I don't know what the hell my camera was doing right there, but don't even worry about it. We are right on track. Tusk is still hanging out here, not wanting to run away. Freaking hell. Archon, like, it's so hard. I guess when you end up getting, like, if that's the initiation you get, you kind of have to, like, all right, we'll give him that one, Like, if you're able to get the Winter's Curse off on the Shadow Fiend mid-raise animation and then follow it up with Stun Sonic Wave, like, all right, we'll let you have that one, guys. Fluff and Stuff, meanwhile, as well, is going to come back in, trying to make some type of initiation happen. You get a nice shards. That's going to be a double stun out. Raise following as well. Falling a little bit low. That's going to be a stun as well as a duel coming out. Is she actually going to be able to win this one? Oh my god, freaking Shallow Grave turned it back around. Visage ends up taking out the Legion in the end regardless. We do have a heck of a lot of damage coming on out there. There's the Winter Wyvern going down to those birds one more time again, as well as Soul Assumption. Mantine away, trying to make his escape, but now the Alchemical Rage is down as well. That's an Alchemist dead. Heck of a lot of gold. Triple kill for Fluff and Stuff on this Visage, doing everything he needs to do. Holy Toledo, and that'll give him a Glimmer Cape. He is going to have that one every day of the week. Fight recap, are you kidding me? 2,700 gold swing into the favor of Archon, doing what they need to do. Man, oh man. But still, you take a look at the Alchemist now, we're at 17,000. Like, it's so absurdly high. This is a bit of a throw, though. Like, you lose half of your net worth lead when you end up losing those heroes there off to the side, and it's just, like, it's terrifying, honestly. What else do we have here? EXP graph looking a little bit more even off to the side now as well. Tusk is just farming. Mr. Moo doing his thing. Fluff and Stuff now with the Glimmer Cape as well as the gem. That's an Aghanim Scepter finished off for the Undying now as well. Legion, what you doing, bud? Hanging out here just in case somebody wants to come on in. She has a mechanism. Actually might be going for Guardians next. So the utility Legion Commander trying to slowly build up duel damage. I have to say as well, the Shallow Grave into duel to take down the Shadow Fiend was superb. I totally didn't think that was going to work until I saw that she was graved and ended up making a really big difference. DD up on the Legion as well now. Do we have any more smokes coming out from the side here? No, doesn't look like it, unfortunately. We do have an Aghanim Scepter coming on up for the Queen of Pain. This is going to finish it off for her as well. That's huge because she needs that damage, like, consistently. If they don't have that every team fight right now, they don't really have enough to be able to do it. Like you saw in that last engagement, you used the Sonic Wave on the Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, and then afterwards you took the fight without it, and then you ended up losing that fight. It does look like it's going to be smoke coming out to the other side over here. They're going to be able to spot all of these heroes. That being said, Alchemist is not here. All right, Fluff and Stuff coming in. Walrus Punch on top of the Winter Wyvern right from the start. That is a freaking dead hero. Soul Assumption immediately. There's the TP boots on in, though. Alchemical Rage is pop. He's going to turn around now. Optify potentially fight this. Nice Manta as well. Sonic Wave on to 3. Maybe a turnaround here with the Radiance Burn coming on out. There's another Soul Assumption. Continuously not being able to take down the Tombstone, and it's a disaster yet again for the Radiant. Freaking huge kills across the board. Not able to interrupt that TP, but does it even matter? Man, oh man. They just don't have an answer. And on top of that, you're taking a look at the Undying here, who's stolen so much freaking strength right now. He's up at 2,400 HP at that point and sort of consistently able to get those decay stacks off. That's huge! You bring everybody down low, and on top of that, you have the zombies going every which way. Like, the gold lead is no longer into favor of Elite Wolves. You've got an EXP lead of 3,000. I think that Alchemist needs, like, a Blink Dagger, and he needs to stay out of the team fights. Heart of Tarask is going to be the one that he opts to go for next, so why not, I guess. But he ended up panic buying that one, by the way, so no real problem there, but still a little bit unfortunate that he's not going to be able to go straight on into, like, the Reaver or whatever. So the thing that I'll say about this is you take a look. Ooh, Fanboy might be trying to see if he can potentially catch on out Whitebeard here to the side. There's going to be a jump forward. That's going to be a dagger out as well. Tombstone is down. Stun comes out. Is going to be able to catch there with the Sonic Wave. But you've got the Shadow Fiend in here as well. There's a heck of a lot of damage. He doesn't have Requiem though. Fluff and Stuff is here trying to get the stuns down. We also have Winter Wyvern in the area as well. This is the point where Shadow Fiend's like, no, I don't want to be here actually. Sorry guys, this is a mistake. Sorry, no, don't want to be here. And they're actually just going to let them walk away. Interesting. Okay. I guess... I don't know what their vision was like. Yeah, they had no idea that the rest of the Dire was coming. Speaking of which, the Dire vision is superb. Doing a really great job now of consistently making sure they can see everything. So, I feel like almost the Alchemist needs like a Blink Dagger or something to get up in the midst of everything and take down that Tombstone. I do believe that Tombstone is still affected by illusions as well, which means that if you're able to pop that Manta right away, like blink on in, pop the Manta, just go for it. I think that that's the play. Like, because that's just completely and totally wrecking them. Either that, or potentially finding and killing the Undying at the start of the fight. That's the other option. And then if that's the case, you end up getting a Blink Dagger on the Winter Wyvern, or... I don't know, maybe an Orchid on the Queen of Pain would be pretty good as well. This is going to be a fight over here in the mid lane. That's going to be a jump on top of the Shadow Fiend, taking a good amount of damage here right from the start. Radiance Burn, Abound, as well as the right clicks, just too strong. Aegis does get popped now. We have Mantis-style illusions in the area. Don't want to pop Winter's Curse if you don't have to. There's the duel. That's going to be more than enough. And that is a freaking dead Shadow Fiend. Exceptionally well done. Next item picked up for the Alchemist is just going to be a straight up heart. He has so much freaking net worth. This is absurd. His farming has been absolutely off the chain. 20k net worth. He has more than the next two heroes in the game combined. Not just on his team, but in the game. And yet somehow, they're only ahead by 2,500 net worth. So like, I don't know. It's just really rough. You're seeing all these utility items, you know. You've got the Blink Dagger up on the Tusk. Now the BKB as well to allow him to make sure he initiates. You've got the Talisman of Evasion. Excuse me, the Solar Crest up on the Visage. As well as the Glimmer Cape. All of these things that are sort of, you know, somewhat luxury items for the heroes that you're taking a look at. Like, they need to be able to end this game pretty soon, because once Alchemist gets 6 slotted, he's not really in a good position. Like, he's obviously got Moonshard. You've also got, if you wanted to, you could give yourself the buff of the Aghanims. But, man, Legion is in some trouble right now. PL is all up on top of her. Gonna cancel the TP on in. Alchemist thought about it, but she is super freaking dead. Tusk somehow ends up getting the last hit amidst all of that. Looks like Dazzle is going to content himself to smoke up and ward on over into the jungle as well. Need to make sure you get some vision there. So fight recap. Didn't end up catching it. Unfortunate. Here comes the secondary smoke. There's going to be the snowball in on top of it. One more time. Shallow Grave. Going to be able to come on out, but that's going to be a dead Dazzle. Turning it around with the Winter's Curse. Is it going to be enough? Doesn't look like it. Oh my god. Soul Rip for the win. Able to take on down that Winter Wyvern, getting vision from the Frozen Sigil as well. Just really nice plays across the board. Does look like they're going to be ready to try and test this, though. At least the Alchemist Illusions are going to be able to toss that on, to be able to burn on down the creeps a little bit. You've also got Acid Spray there. Might have been more worth it to throw it right on the tower, but this is at least going to draw the aggro a little bit. And look at that Decay, just tearing apart his strength. Although that being said, you know, you do have the heart now, so that helps a good amount as well. But Undying now has 2,200 HP. It's so hard to fight into this, honestly. And meanwhile, PL pushing up the top lane as well. This is looking really, really bad. I don't know if they're going to be able to really fight this at all. Like, they need to get that initiation off on the Undying, and I don't know if they're going to be able to find it. Maybe a duel to start it off, potentially. That's a jump forward duel. Tombstone gets down, though. Oh, no. This is really, really bad. That's going to be a Cold Embrace, as well as a Shallow Grave coming out to keep the Legion Commander alive a little bit longer. Fanboy trying to run away. He is going to get taken down there by the Shadow Fiend. Buyback into the game immediately. Fallen low are the Dire, but lower are the Radiant. We do have buybacks across the board. Is Fanboy going to be able to make this happen? This is going to be a dieback. Shallow Grave coming in. Is she going to be able to make her way out of here? Blink away. No! The Cold Embrace might end up killing her, honestly. I think that she goes down. Oh, she had a blink away, potentially. Unfortunate. Meanwhile, up top as well, we're going to see the Legion just blink away. Don't hurt me. I promise I had nothing to do with it. So everybody coming away with that one really, really injured. The key component, though, that you end up seeing here, Alchemist dies, Queen of Pain dies, the Shadow Fiend does die as well, but the core and the buyback on the Quap as well, just disgustingly bad. Meanwhile, as well, this does look like it's going to be a jump forward. This might be a mistake. Oh, Legion, we knew you well. I think that this is going to be a dead Legion commander. Visage ends up getting the last right click after the Soul Assumption. It was a good thought, probably didn't see the Visage there, and unfortunately that turns what was a 2-for-1 into a 3-for-1. On top of that, the dieback for the Queen of Pain. Like 2,200 net worth on the Alchemist, but at this point in time, I mean, Archon has a net worth lead as well as an EXP lead. It's just bad across the board. Very, very unfortunate there. I think that there is still a potential for a comeback. Like, Alchemist, when you've got this much farm and this much ability to sustain, you're still somewhat okay. He just needs to build on into more attack speed items. They need to get the jump on the Undying. Like, because Alchemist can push so hard, I feel like if they're able to win one team fight convincingly, push on in, take down a tier 2 tower, and they blow the game right back open. The problem is going to be actually finding that Undying. Like, they were able to get a pretty solid initiation off in that last fight, but Undying was able to go into ulti form as well as drop the tombstone before he got taken out, which just, it can't happen, because otherwise you lose the fight. 747 now looking is going to get burned down a little bit. I hope he doesn't think that this is going to be the actual... Yeah, he should realize that this is an illusion. Back on out again. Probably a good opportunity there. Meanwhile, one of the heroes that we haven't talked about a ton, the PL currently, sitting on a Yasha as well as a Diff Blade level 2. The Dying is going for a plate mail. Could be into an AC, but probably more likely just to increase that input is just going to be the Shivas. Meanwhile, it does look like we're going to be having a Vlad's potentially built up on the Tusk. Pretty cool there, given the lifesteal you need for your Shadow Fiend. Actually, not for the Shadow Fiend. It's just the armor and the damage, honestly. He already has his lifesteal with that helm. So across the board, looking pretty good for Archon. Dazzle hasn't really been able to build into anything else besides a medallion. Is going to be actually going for an... Is he going for an Ags? What the hell is going on? What the hell is this game? Is he honestly going for an Ags? Interesting. I wonder if... I guess, maybe? I mean, you get the extra bonus, you know, armor per second going down, which is pretty solid, but it's kind of a not a commonly seen item. And with the Alchemist in the game, you'd imagine if you wanted that, you'd farm it up for him. But there's the jump forward duel, maybe going to come on out. Oh, the Diff Blade last second, nicely done. Already used the press the attack. Now we've also got the Tusk over here as well. That's going to be in a little bit of trouble. They're separated all off to the side. Tusk ends up taking out the Winter Wyvern immediately, trying to chase yet again, is going to be going after this Legion commander. A lot of damage coming on out now. Meanwhile, the Visage ends up taking out the Dazzle on the other side of the fight. What is happening? Everybody's killing each other. Phantom Lancer ends up taking out the Legion, and immediately the Alchemist goes on back over here to try and push on out the lanes because he knows what's coming, and it's not good for his team. Fight recap-wise, 3 heroes just split all across the map. They were with like 3 screens away from each other across the board. 1,300 gold change, but the real big winner here for the Dire is the ability to push on down the high ground now. And what are you going to do against this? You do have your Winter Wyvern back. Already used... Oh, didn't use Cold Embrace. Okay, that explains why that fight went so poorly. But this is going to be a tier 3 tower down, and I don't know if they can really fight on into this. Tombstone not up for another couple of seconds. Does Soul Rip to keep himself alive a little bit longer. There is going to be another Winter's Curse down. A heck of a lot of damage, but the decay stacks are too good. The Snowball keeping him alive. The Glimmer Cape, everything is working in the way of the Undying. Another Requiem of Souls out as well. The Alchemist is still sustaining throughout this. Legion is going to be back up again in a second. This is all getting really, really messy. The Tombstone did finally get dropped now. And it looks like they're going to be able to take that on out. And content with their tier 3 tower take, it looks like Archon is going to head on back, keeping a little bit of separation there with those shards getting dropped as well. So really, really crazy little team fight going on. Roche is going to respawn another 45 seconds as well. The more and more this game goes on, though, it's looking more dire for the Alchemist. Like, this is the point where he should really be hitting like a truck and making all this stuff happen, but the team fight really hasn't been able to be there for them, and especially that last one, they ended up getting completely and totally separated across the map and just weren't able to use their skills in succession. And you think about what this lineup is built around. It's built around trying to deal out a ton of damage with the Radiance Burn, being able to sort of sustain that with those Mantle Illusions as well, staying alive with Alchemical Rage. You've also got on top of that Sonic Wave, supposed to be laid out on a bunch of heroes. Top lane now as well. We're going to end up running into a bit of a problem. Shadow Fiend here is going to find the Alchemist. Does he end up finding enough to be able to get away from here? Don't know. He does have a Satanic backup in another second. There's the duel, though. That's a dead Shadow Fiend. So that's the way to start the comeback. That is certainly the way that you want it to start off. And take a look at that fight recap. A 1,500 gold swing into their favor. Ain't nothing to sneeze at. Fanboy looking to be in a little bit of trouble. There's the Walrus Punch initiation. Jump forward. Snowball isn't going to be able to find this time around. Is going to continue to get chased down, though. There's the Winter's Curse. Keep him alive a little bit longer. Fluff and Stuff ends up taking out Soul Assumption one time, because why not? Meanwhile, we do see the Winter Wyvern just barely get out of that one. So close to getting taken down. Really, really, really impressively close to getting taken down. And then the Dire loses their Courier. 225 net worth on it. Not a whole heck of a lot, I don't imagine. But no real big deal at all. We'll see if they opt to go on in and try and take down Roshan at this point. I feel like they need their Shadow Fiend for both the presence of the Dark Lord as well as being able to actually dole out the damage. They have a good amount of tank ability, but not really the ability to deal a ton. Top lane yet again. PL pushing it on out. Does have his Manta now, and he is the most farmed hero, but anytime you end up looking at it compared to the Alk, it's just a little bit lackluster. Here's the jump forward. They're going to try and catch the duel there. Jump forward immediately. Overwhelming odds into duel. There's going to be the stun as well. Do they get the damage? Yes, they do. Nicely done there. We have the TP in as well. Tusk needs to blink away. He was able to blink away before the Radiance Bird ended up enacting. That's like frame perfect almost. Really, really solid there. And meanwhile, the Queen of Pain actually ends up going down as well, down in the bot lane. Where the heck did she die? Oh, that was earlier. Never mind. Trippin'. Fluff and Stuff now as well. After getting the Glimmer Cape, is going to be going for another casual hood. Might be going on into a potentially a pipe here. Very interesting pickup, and that is going to be an AC up on the Undying as well. So it looks like they're going to be ready to contest this. The Dire do realize this is going on. They're going to move on in and try and see if they can make something happen. The Tombstone does get dropped. Tusk tosses on out the shards. That's going to keep them stuck on in there. The zombies are going to start to spawn. The stuns are going to come in just a second as well. Do we have the jump forward? Nice there to initial the block. The stun. Roche is going to go down here as well. There's the Winter's Curse. Queen of Pain gets the Aegis though. Oh, Moo, you were meant to be like this. She's going to end up going down here as well. Alchemist ends up taking out the Tusk there in the end. Do we have a jump forward? Again, Fanboy getting away on absolutely no life. Might die to the Requiem. No, able to stay alive through that. 747 does have his Satanic popped. Going to be trying to heal as much as he can. Fanboy up on the high ground as well. He did take down the Legion though, so that's pretty solid. Is going to be able to make his way on out of there. The Aegis gets popped by the Queen of Pain, trying to TP away. He does get out. Nicely done. And now the reinitiation yet again. Whitebeard all up in their grill with the stuns coming out from the Visage Familiars as well. It looks like the Queen of Pain trying to make her escape is going to be able to take on down the Visage as well. Gem up on the high ground. Whitebeard still trying to get away. He has so much freaking 4,200 HP. He ends up getting taken down in the end by the Alchemist though regardless. Oh my god, are you freaking kidding me? Oh, it was meant to be. 2 for 3. Showing the fight recap. Oh, Elite Wolves end up turning it back around there. The team fight didn't go well for them, and this is what I'm talking about. You win one of these team fights, you deny the Aegis, you end up getting the gold gain back into your favor, and all of a sudden you got heroes down, 32,000 net worth on your Alchemist. And they're not going to stop after this, I don't think. They are going to be content to continue to move, keep the pain train a-rolling, force out a glyph at the very least. And with that out as well, looks like Fanboy is going to be content to push on out here. Jo in the area as well. Doesn't want to end up getting too far caught out. We do have the Visage as well as the Undying back up in a little bit. If they start the team fight right now, there's the TP on in with the Tombstone drop, and it just all goes to hell. So wise decision making there. Likewise for the Shadow Fiend. He's going to jump on forward. Might be in a little bit of trouble now, though, as well. Does need to run away. Maybe going to be able to get the duel off. Nicely done there. This is at least going to be able to secure the kill, I believe. Jump forward one more time. There's going to be a mech popped as well. Stun coming out on 747, and he goes down. Alchemist gets the final kill. Nicely done. Fight recap again. 775 gold going the direction of the Radiant. And Roche not back up for a while. This could still go either way. I'm still favoring the Dire, because Alchemist doesn't have a whole heck of a lot bigger to get, but PL does. Like, all he has right now is Diffblade level 2, Manta, Aquila. Like, the problem is he actually going to be able to get there? And that's what I'm not sure about. The Alchemist just picked up an Abyssal Blade as well. Like, this is the problem. You end up running into this with the PL. If you get revealed which one is the real one, you are freaking dead, because you're going to get Abyssaled and you're going to get obliterated. And I think also the duel here as well on the Legion makes such a big difference in terms of your ability to like push on out and actually make these fights happen. We're going to see Alchemist probably TP boots on in just a second. Does have buyback as well as 2,000 surplus. Might be worth it to upgrade to level 2. It's just going to be a dead tower right there. Going on into the catapult yet again. Going to send on out the illusions. They're going to make battle with the PL illusions. Whose illusion is stronger? Who knows? And now they're going to be content to push on up towards this top lane. Nothing there to deward this time around. Queen of Pain up on the high ground. Let's have a blink again in just a second here. But with these illusions moving on out yet again, I feel like they're going to be ready to fight this. We have Winter's Curse back up. Got Alchemical Rage always up pretty much. Duel is up for the Legion as well. Weave is about to be back up. Oh, Queen of Pain does end up spying out those birds. Doesn't want to be stuck up on the high ground. And just like that, the tower goes down. Are you freaking kidding me? Smoked on up. PL is a little bit too far forward, potentially. Radiance Bird is doing his work. That's going to end up being the Tombstone drop as well. This could be a really bad fight here. Nice counter initiation with the Winter's Curse. But we're seeing the Alchemist drop low. He's going to end up regenerating off of this so freaking quickly, though. That's going to be a kill on the Undying by the Alchemist. There's the jump forward. Mu is taking a lot of damage from this duel as well. Alchemist barely staying alive. The mechanism after the duel finished. They're doing it. Elite Wolves turning this back around. 747 gonna fall as well. Another freaking kill. Fluff and Stuff is gonna end up falling also. What is happening in this game, ladies and gentlemen? This is gonna end up being barracks right here. We have buybacks not really across the board. Shadow Fiend the only one, as well as the PL, I guess. Okay, they can potentially defend this, but they need to probably try and defend the second racks. This first one's gone no matter what. Buyback on top of the PL right away. We're gonna have a buyback on the Shadow Fiend in a second as well, I imagine. But the Alchemist is just going to town. Look at how much damage he's dealing. It's absolutely absurd. They're falling quickly. Looks like Shadow Fiend really doesn't want to buy back. If he buys back, that could be it. He might need to, though. All right, they're going to take down all of these towers, keep the melee barracks taken. This is such a smart play right now by Elite Wolves. They don't give a damn. Jump forward. Fluff and Stuff's going to end up going down. Shadow Fiend, it might be too late at this point in time. This is going to end up being another stun out on top of him. Raze is coming out as well. They're going to end up backing on out. The Queen of Pain able to take down the tier 3. Now focusing on the melee barracks yet again, and she is just going to back on out now. Not wanting to press their luck. That was huge. That one team fight turnaround. Like, you took a look at how this ended up playing out right here. You got a couple of really bad initiation starts right from the start. The PL was able to dodge away from any Abyssal Blade action or anything else like that with the Doppelganger. Afterwards, you saw the Tombstone go down, as well as Undying drop his ulti, get off a couple of stacks of Decay. I think he only got one stack of Decay, which might have been his downfall. But then immediately, the Winter's Curse turns it back around. You see Elite Wolves able to get their grounding, get set back up, and then they jump forward and are able to make the plays like that. Absolutely solid. Now, this is going to be an Aghanim Scepter buff given to the Legion Commander. This is actually really cool. Okay, I like this. Obviously not something that you often see on this hero. Creates the sort of complete and total, always going to be able to duel me until you die. And she does have 112 duel damage at this point, so she's hitting pretty hard. Really, for me, this is like the ultimate form of lockdown. I think if she gets this on the Tusk or the Undying at the start of the fight, they win. That's pretty much how this goes, I think. But we'll see. We will certainly see. And that's all she needs to do, honestly. She does have Guardians now as well. So that's a pretty interesting little pickup there. It makes sense. You want to be able to do that. But I think that now you think about forms of control that you've got. All of a sudden, Elite Wolves, their form of control is duel. And with the Invis Rune as well to start this on off, this could be a really devastating start to this fight. I don't know if she wants to duel the PL. Like, part of me thinks that that could be an okay option, but he is starting to get a little bit on the scarier side. Like, he still doesn't have a ton of farm. He needs way more than he has, honestly. He's actually pretty underfarmed right now in terms of where he should be. They've been able to catch back up. There is going to be a jump back yet again. Now that they're starting to spread the farm around away from the Alchemist and to the other heroes, like, even just the stats on this for the Legion is super solid. All right, here comes the Invis. If she's able to catch the Shadow Fiend, she would love that as well. But not going to be able to quite do it this time, unfortunately. Man, oh man, what a freaking game. This has been solid. I really didn't expect this Alchemist to go this well, but it goes to show if you end up being able to let this hero get a Radiance early, like, it can just make such a big difference in terms of your ability to sort of consistently think. And this is an Ag's upgraded ulti as well from Dazzle. Like, this is doing so much. There's the jump forward, able to catch on the Whitebeard. That is going to be a snowball coming through, but this duel isn't ending anytime soon. 747 drops as well. Winter Wyvern secures the kill for that one. Whitebeard continuing to hit away at that. That's going to be a duel win. Oh my god. Undying ended up falling to the Alchemist. Now the Tusk as well. They're jumping forward on a Fluff and Stuff. Force Staff might be able to save his life, actually, but to what end? This is all going down now. They can't fight against this anymore. The duel ended up making such a big difference. If he was able to get off that Tombstone right at the start of the fight, again, jumping on top of this PL, he's going to end up going down in the end as well. Oh, GG, well played, ends up getting called. Alchemist, passing off the Aghanim Scepter to the Legion Commander, ends up winning it. Goodness gracious, Elite Wolves taking game one. Absolute pleasure casting for you guys. So this is going to go on to game two in just a second here. I'm going to pop on out, but thank you all very much for watching yet again. My name is Lyrical Gangster. You can catch me out at twitter.com/Lyrical Gangster. Switching the E with the 3 to find me, of course. And we'll pop right on into the next one in just a second.